start versus Whitmer. They know each other better than anybody, and they want to beat each other as much as anybody, too. The Battle of Tremainsville rings in the new year at Whitmer Memorial Stadium. Whitmer has had Start's number as of late, and it only takes a minute and 8 seconds for him to put a number on the scoreboard on their first offensive possession. Teron Crawford, get used to that name. Later in the first quarter, Crawford beating and banging and bruising his way over the goal line. That's TD number 2. He'd had a third before halftime. It's 21-0 with 4 minutes and change before the break. Panthers pounce through the air. Brady Ford drops a dime to Devin Morgan, 35 yards. The home crowd loves it, and there is even more for them to love. 34-zip at halftime. No letting up just yet. Early third, Jason Kelly is all over the quarterback, all over the ball, and Whitmer is all over Start. Spartans score late, but it's a runaway, 41-6 Whitmer, in large part thanks to the guy standing by with Matty Klein.
I'm here with senior running back Teron Crawford. An excellent game, phenomenal, honestly. What do you think your team did well to lead to your 3 touchdowns in the first half?
I think we were really disciplined. We stayed to the game plan, and we looked at each other for help, and we came together as a team and just dominated together.
And what do you think your team will need to focus on improving before you face Dublin Jerome next week?
I think staying disciplined. A lot of mistakes we made kind of hindered us later on in the game, and later in the game we just corrected it. I feel like if we work on that, we'll be really good next week.
That is a mid-season attitude right there. Our guys already in mid-season form. Let's kick it out to Tim Clack and Mike Robb.
Last season, the Whitmer Panthers returned to glory, but they lost 40% of that roster that made a deep playoff run. And one thing we always expect with a Ken Winters team, they know how to rush the football. Teron Crawford, a big part of that ground attack last year. He's the feature back this season. 3 rushing touchdowns to lead the Panthers on the ground tonight.
You talk about ground, you talk about pancakes, and you talk about beef. And you talk about all that for a reason, because the big guys got to eat. You talk about Kantak, Mikey O'Brien, and you talk about Carter Lowe, Aiden Earl, these guys, and Landon Brown. These guys that did an excellent job of making way, clearing lanes for the rushing attack of the Whitmer Panthers today.
The big question defensively for the Panthers in the offseason was who was going to replace track player of the year, Jaden Gibson. Well, that has been answered. Jason Kelly, 2 turnovers tonight, a scoop and a score. 86 tackles 1 season ago as a sophomore.
He's just a stud. You get these generational football players that play defense, and Kelly could have easily been a running back receiver type player, but having him on the defensive side proved to be the right decision, as he has multiple Power 5 offers, and he's going to gain some more after his performance tonight.
The Start offense, they are a work in progress right now with a little bit of a quarterback battle, but the defense, despite the score, they forced two turnovers tonight, led by Robert Jones.
Robert Jones, who? Robert Jones, my young guy, this young bull. You're going to see him for a couple years. He's going to be ecstatic for what he did, but they're not going to be satisfied with the way they played and the effort. So they're going to go back to the drawing board, work with Coach Lewis, and get this thing fixed up and get it corrected for next week.
Whitmer takes the Battle of Tremainsville over Start. Football 2022 season, we're just getting started.